My dog, she's in this stream. Oh, I can zoom the camera. Awesome. Um, yeah, hold up. I don't know if it's very obvious for like the three people that tuned into the very short test live stream yesterday. I do not know what I am doing when it comes to live streams. I'm kind of trying to like learn how to like not be awkward on live streams anymore and like not make the worst non-object show content the world has ever seen. Yeah, I don't know if you guys tuned into last night's live stream. That was more uh an experiment. That was like me trying to see can I live stream or will it crash and burn? What was the answer? Probably crash and burn considering like 2 minutes in it just stopped working. It says there's somebody okay, and they left, and I honestly do not blame you. It is the screen right now is just water because I don't want my face on there. You can look at my dog, but she's currently licking dirt off the patio. So that's like, sorry, I just opened my water like an actual child because I'm an idiot. Anyways, um, yeah, I can't guarantee how long this live stream is going to be because number one, I'm outside and it's getting dark, and so number one, the mosquitoes are coming out, and do not. I'm not very fond of those guys. They're very fond of me, and that's kind of the entire problem with that. And the other thing is also, once it gets dark, I also feel like probably not gonna be a very good I mean, as if it's good right now. I just have an open bottle of water sitting on the table and, like, occasionally my dog. I've taken a sip of the water. Okay, I do the live stream. So, she keeps looking around like she hears something, and I don't know what she could possibly be hearing. I just realized all the chickens we have chickens. I don't know if you guys watch my YouTube shorts. If you did, you'd know we have chickens. They seem to have put themselves in their little pen. I keep getting off topic. Oh my god. Okay. Um, I don't know if I really hope that the person leaving is not a sign that the live stream crashed like it did yesterday. That would be really sad. Um, yeah. God, gotta stay on one topic. Sorry. ADHD moment. I have that in case you didn't know. Fun trivia fact. But yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to stream because, as I said, it's getting dark, which means I can't say if the stream is going to look good anymore once it's dark. Two, I hate mosquitoes with a burning passion, and the mosquitoes love me, so that's kind of an issue. And three, I can't say how long I'm going to be home alone. But yeah, I don't know. I figured it would just be kind of fun to turn on the live stream and yap a little bit and like I don't know, and maybe answer some questions if people want to ask me questions. I don't know. I would do drawing again, but I don't know if people tuned into yesterday's, but like the very brief drawing section I did was really bad because I'm not good at holding a camera with one hand and drawing with the other one. And also like it looks really bad when I set the camera down. And I made probably one of the worst things I've drawn in a long time. The dog is trying to let herself back inside. Okay, well, you know, the stream isn't even longer than the one I've done yesterday, and I've done literally nothing. I've walked in circles. Um, I'll probably leave the VOD up at least for a little bit. So if you're watching this afterwards, probably don't do that. There's better things you could be spending your time on than listening to me uh, just repeatedly yap about actually nothing. On the topic of like current events on the channel, ooh, BFOHR coming back. That's exciting. Not really. Uh, I don't know. It's just like, can I scream really loudly? Hi, Amy. I don't. I'm really worried about like concerning my neighbors. That's the thing. Okay, random is texting me of all people. Brody, are you gonna be mad if I scream really loud? Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I'm worried if I scream really loud, the neighbors are gonna call, gonna call the police or something. They're gonna think I'm dying. It's tempting though. It would be really funny. I don't know. What I wanna do this is just kinda yapping at this point. I okay, well, this whole stream has been yapping, but, I really wanna get, like, those soundproof panels, that, like, people have for, like, making their audio sound not terrible, but really, I just wanna get those so that way I could just, like when I'm recording for episodes and stuff, I really just wanna do, like, screaming at the top of my lungs like I'm literally dying. because I just think that'd be really funny, and also Random does that a lot. I don't know how her neighbors don't get worried, but I don't know. I live in, like, a very small neighborhood of, like, old people, and I just feel like they're probably gonna think I'm literally getting murdered if I scream like that. But anyways, yeah, on current topics, Obama Hamburger is back. Everybody's least favorite show from 2023 that's still getting dragged out because I don't know, I like it, I guess, is the best way I could say it. And also, as I said in the video, I just think it's kind of fun that the remasters are their own timeline. I don't know. You can definitely tell by the way I talk about the show called my idea is to use the funny internet scream audios. There are some funny on internet scream audios. I like using this a lot. Although personally, I've started defaulting to using this one audio clip from one of my YouTube shorts. I use it in Battle to Not Be Problematic Media too. I have a YouTube short. I think it's just called like the funniest scream ever or something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, the context for that is on New Year's. My sister had a friend over and she just started throwing shit in the room at him. And he just started screaming as loud as he could, which I am luckily at my mom's house. I don't really think the neighbors care. But yeah, he just started screaming at like the top of his lungs and it was really funny. And she got one of them on camera. And I actually used that audio clip in Battle to Not Be Problematic Media episode 2. Fun little trivia fact for the wiki, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, if you watch that video and then you watch Battle to Not Be Problematic Media, oh, you should make a channel to do these kind of talking. Honestly, if you check my channel, like where I have like the main page where I have a bunch of other channels listed out, I've considered using the Itsumi Gummy YouTube channel as like a little live stream channel hangout, maybe. I don't know. I just think it'd be fun. If you can't tell, I like yapping a lot. I can talk quite a bit for a long period of time without much issue. Uh, my main worry is that sometimes I just worry I'm a little bit annoying, especially when I'm like having a conversation with people. I feel like it just gets a little irritating when I will not stop to just not stop talking. But this is my YouTube channel, so, if you click on a live stream that literally says I'm, like, yapping in the title and get annoyed by me yapping, I feel like that's kinda on you by that point, so I don't know. I've wanted to do a little more live streams for a while, it's just, like, I worry about being awkward on camera a little bit, I guess, like, it was, like, 2023, 2024, I don't know, I just sent Curb this video, but I did a Portal 2 video, and you could just hear how awkward I was in that video. It's so bad. I'm, like, barely talking, and I'm talking really quietly because my dad was asleep, and I was like, "Oh, I don't wanna wake him up." And also, uh, the other part of that is also why I'm not doing this live stream on my computer or something, and that's because, uh, OBS, the recording software, not the object show, doesn't seem to like me very much. It starts making my computer lag, and the footage it records is also really laggy. So, laggy footage of a laggy computer, um, doesn't make for a really great recording experience. It's kind of funny, but also, like, I feel like for anything longer than, like, 2 minutes, it's gonna get irritating. Well, there's 5 viewers now. I didn't I didn't expect this many people. Good god, some kid just screamed. I hope that's not a problem. Maybe people wouldn't care if I screamed then, I don't know. But, yeah, sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought. But on that Portal 2 video, which I still have up because I think it's kinda funny, even if I was being really awkward. Am I bringing back I'm not dude, it is really funny you ask that, actually. Am I bringing back I'm not turning off my fan. I just updated the assets for that show. Um, I think in the comment section of that video, Fletch Dog, I think I remember you mentioning that you had checked the wiki and saw 4 people debuting. A little bit of a spoiler, that iteration, uh, OBS is like the sorry, I'm reading chat, I'm trying to keep up with everybody, but yeah, on the wiki, that updated version of the show, that is not what I'm going with. I'll post the audio I had recorded because I did record the whole episode, but I listened back to it recently and I'm like, "Man, this is not a good episode." I recorded it in the living room, so it was really echoey because it was, like, the first time I had tried to record after, like, moving from my mom's house to my dad's house. Because at my mom's house, my mom really did not care about me recording. My dad's a little bit more, like, he's usually working. He works at the house, and he gets kinda he doesn't really like it when I'm, like, screaming my ass off in the middle of recording an episode, which is understandable. I would probably think it's annoying too. But yeah, anyways, that audio, really not good. So that iteration of the show of I Won't Turn Off My Fan is not coming back. That iteration, I'll post it on probably Stormy Studios, but like the audio for it, it was a really bad episode. Like, trust me when I say you are not missing out on much. The top 4 debut candidates all joined. The challenge was I think it was to discover a new element, and what one of the teams did was they took the team logo and they just harvested part of it, and they're like, "Ooh, it's a new element." But yeah, it was really boring. Basically what had happened was I had watched iDimensional show. I don't know if you guys watch iDimensional, you should. If you're subscribed to me and not iDimensional, I don't know what you're doing because their stuff is just significantly better than mine. But, I had watched, Compete for Literally Nothing and how they're, like that's being, like, dragged out right now, like, the joke is that it just keeps going. I got really inspired by that, and so I kinda was just making a really bad ripoff of Compete for Literally Nothing. Yo, I love iDimensional, same. I just stuff is really good. I really like Compete for Literally Nothing, if you can't tell. That's, like, my favorite Ida show, I think. But yeah, I kind of just made, like, the modern stage of Compete for Literally Nothing if it was, like, significantly worse. But anyways, all of that yap to say, I actually just updated all the assets. I think I even put them on the wiki. But, that show is going to be coming back, but, like, very different from that original iteration from last year. So the people that were on the wiki that were all debuting, only, like, half of those people are debuting now, and I've decided I'm no longer going to retcon Chicken Jockey. Chicken Jockey, everybody's favorite character, is getting their well-deserved spot on the show. Yay, Chicken Jockey, everyone's favorite character. The reason I was retconning them before was number 1, Minecraft movie joke. I just feel like that's not super funny. That's kinda lost its relevance really quick. And then number 2, I was informed that their recommender posted in a Discord server they were in and at everyone and was like, "Vote for my character," and, like, I don't know. I guess I technically never said that that was cheating, but I'm not a huge fan of when people try to like rig debuts like that. So that was also part of the reason they were getting retconned. But now I've just decided I don't care that much. Honestly, it's like it's it's a joke show. I don't need to be taking it that seriously. Chicken Jockey won fair and square, so they will be joining the show. But I don't know, I don't wanna spoil too much, but, like, I don't know, I guess not that many people are gonna be watching this, so it doesn't really matter particularly too much. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, yeah, my whole thing was, like, I don't know, unfunny meme character in the show. I was like, Maybe we don't want unfunny meme character," but why not? I'm gonna take another sip of my water because it's hot. Oh, yeah, rotten drumstick, don't worry, I don't know if you you keep up with all of my stuff, but I very much reuse assets in every conceivable opportunity I get. So I can assure you, Rotten Drumstick will absolutely still be a character at some point because they're actually good. But yeah, I won't turn off my fan. Like, I guess slight spoiler warning. The way I'm bringing it back is I think I'm gonna just make the rest of the episodes now and like drop them all at once. So the show would probably switch to like contestant vote or challenge based elimination and like just do it an all at once thing and just drop them all at once. I'm not gonna say too much more than that, but the debut was heavily cut down on and yeah, Chicken Jockey will be in it though. They were the most voted debuter because funny meme character combined with their recommender telling people to vote for them, which has happened before. I'm aware of, and I didn't reject other people's characters for it, so I was like, I guess it would be kind of unfair to punish them for that reason when I've let my own friends get away with that. Because I think Random admitted she had told people on Twitter to vote for her recommended character in Asbestos Sponge Bagel again, and so I'm like, "Oh, if I'm not gonna punish Random for that, it would be kinda mean of me to punish somebody just because 'cause they're like just because I didn't like the character as much for being a meme character." Anyways, all the way back on the previous comment that I, basically ignored because I was too busy yapping about, I won't turn off my fan. OBS is like the recording video thing, but it's also really laggy when I record. Yeah, I have the same issue. Everybody's like, Dude, OBS is, like, the best thing ever for recording anything, it's cheap, and that's true, like, it's free and it functions, but for me, I don't know, like, I think it's because my laptop is just actually terrible, but whenever I record anything with OBS, it makes my computer lag horrifically bad. It makes it lag so bad. So not only is the computer already lagging, but the footage itself is laggy. So usually it's laggy footage of a laggy computer, which results in like your favorite thing of like 5 frames a minute, maybe recording footage. And sometimes it'll just freeze. Eventually it'll just stop working, which is also just awesome. Love it when that happens. But yeah, like recording with OBS doesn't like cooperating with me very much. I've learned. I've come to the realization that maybe OBS is not my friend, which is fine. I don't know. I'm not much of a gamer. Crazy reveal here. I've always been, I like sitting in my room and I like making silly object shows. I like making object shows as a grown adult. I don't know. I've come to accept the fact that, like, object shows, yeah, they're for little kids, and you know what? That's okay. It's okay to like object shows as long as you admit that they're not super mature, crazy crazy content for big mature audiences. "Oh, no, look, object shows aren't for kids. Look at how Book gets shot with the drill and BFDIA. What's going on with this show is pure slop." Oh, right. I announced this on my Discord server, but I kinda tend to forget that not everybody is in the Discord server because not everybody has Discord. Um, to really, it's been on hiatus. I didn't mean to put it on hiatus, but, like, for, like, a month-ish, almost all of my focus was put into, Battle to Not Be Problematic Media, which that show on its own is having issues, but, yeah, like, because I had put all of my focus into that, I, like, completely, forgot about this show as pure slop, and to be honest, like, I like it. I like the characters a lot. I regret making it text-based, and I regret putting it on the side channel, um, and it's just been on hiatus just because, like, I don't know, I was like, rejoin episode, and it's like, I kinda regret doing a rejoin and not just doing the debut. Um, and also just, like, there were some complications with a few recommenders that turned out to be, like, not awesome, and so I have to make sure I don't use those characters either. So it's been on hiatus. I wouldn't say it's canceled or anything, but I just have to kinda decide what I wanna be doing with that. Um, I've even considered, like, a reboot of sorts, like, with take, like, my favorite bunch of recommended characters and, like, the best characters from the original show and putting them all in there, but I don't know. I'm not promising anything yet, but the show will come back in some form. I just can't say what form that is. I can't say if it's gonna continue like normal, if I'll move it to the main channel and voice act it. I can't really say anything with 100% certainty because I don't know if you guys can tell. I don't really run my channel super professionally. It's very much based on um whatever I feel like doing. Chartreuse Burger. They were gonna have. I don't want to spoil anything in case I do the continuation. There was gonna be something going on with them in the next episode because it was related to Cutesy Bow and how she's still a corpse right now, a pile of dust because she got eviscerated by the soda. Um, yeah, they were gonna have something to do with Cutesy Beau a little bit, that was gonna be kinda funny. Chartreuse Burger, is a fun character personality-wise, I kinda regret the way I did the design, though, I feel like, the way I did the overlay makes them look kinda gross, I feel like they just look like a moldy burger, which is not the most appealing thing in the world, they just kinda look a little nasty. I do like the bow, though, I think the bow was a huge improvement, I really like accessories on object show characters, yet for some reason I hardly ever use them. And I'm pretty sure I made the bow a permanent thing, like, that was the plan was to make the bow a permanent design fixture. Um, I did not keep the bows on anyone else, though, I wasn't really a huge fan of how they looked on everybody else. I do think there was gonna be something with Calendar keeping her bow for a little bit as, like, paying tribute to Chartreuse Burger for getting out, but I don't think I ended up doing that. I don't know, I just didn't really like Calendar with the bow, I think Calendar has a really solid design on her own. But yeah, like, I feel like I could definitely see myself changing Chartreuse Burger's design a little bit to make them look less like a molding burger because I don't know, I just feel like especially with like the fact it's like a PNG asset, the fact it looks a little moldy is like a little gross. I don't know. Just like I don't want to off put people. It already off puts me a little bit. So fun character. I think there's like a little bit of overlap with them and like they're very like silly, goofy, but not in the way Jar of Blended Grass is, where Jar of Blended Grass is like actually like a child. I'd say Chartreuse Burger is probably just like a very whimsical person, but they're not like a child like Jar of Blended Grass was. So I would say that there's overlap, but there's not too much to the point where I don't think that there's like a problem with having them in the same cast or anything. Because, like, one thing a lot of people don't acknowledge is, like, with an object show, you do not really want too many overlapping personalities, or you get what some people like to say is, like, inanimate insanity syndrome, where a lot of the characters end up feeling kind of the same, where, like, everybody's kinda different, but not too different, and, like, I think inanimate insanity is better with this nowadays, but definitely in season 2, like, mid-season 2, there was a problem with that, where, like, everybody was just kind of a guy with, like, slight differences. But yeah, with casts, I generally try to make sure there isn't too much overlap with characters because I don't want it to feel like everybody's just the same person. I want variety, but I would say that Chartreuse Burger is different enough from, Jar of Blended Grass. Oh, yeah, Chartreuse Burger got out immediately, which I feel a little bad about. I feel like that's it's probably my fault for not making them do more and not making them a little better, like, I feel kinda bad because, like, with RCs when I handle them poorly, because like, that's somebody else's little creation, and, like, I feel like, "Oh boy, if I make the character suck," like, I hope the recommender doesn't feel like I hated their character or something. I'm just sometimes bad at figuring out what I wanna do with a character. But yeah, Chartreuse Burger, oh man, that did not last long. Then again, also, that's a replacement character. People aren't a huge fan of those because it's like, "Oh, Cutesy Beau's dead. Guess we gotta put somebody else in the show." Man, I've been streaming for 20 minutes. It does not feel like I've been streaming for 20 minutes. I have been getting mauled by mosquitoes, but you know what? I'm having fun, so I'll keep streaming for a little bit. But yeah, it does not feel like I've been streaming for 20 minutes, man. I don't know if you can tell. I've been talking for forever and I can just keep going. I really like talking. Um, So yeah, on the topic of T-SIPs, that's how I pronounce the acronym, by the way, in case anybody's curious. It's kind of teapot type thing, T-SIPs. Also, just because I think T-SIPs is funny. Um, yeah, that show will be coming back. I just can't. I've been really torn between doing a reboot or a continuation, so we'll see on that regard. And yeah, so I won't turn off my fan is going to be coming back uh, soonish. I don't know. I almost recorded some episodes last night, and then I, like, fell asleep because I'd stayed up all night the past night. But, yeah, that should be coming back soonish. It just depends on, like, how long I make the episodes and how long they take to, do the visuals for. But, yeah, that's coming back. T-Sips will come back at some point. I'm trying to think of, like, other shows that have been, like, kinda on pause for a while that people are probably gonna be curious about. Asbestos Sponge Bagel, I've really wanted to bring back for a while. I just, like, I keep forgetting to update assets, really. Um, I had some fun stuff planned, like, I was gonna change Honeycomb to a literal comb covered in honey, but now I'm worried, like, I don't know. I don't wanna be one of those people that's just constantly changing designs because I feel like people hate that. Ooh, Tinosh season 15. I like, here's what happens with Tinosh is, like, I'll make a cache that I really like when I make them, and I'm like, "Okay, the next time I get the chance to do, like, a season, like, I have a night where, like, it's gonna work really well, I'm gonna do this." But then it takes a while, and by the time that night a night where I can do it rolls around, I'm like, "Dang, I don't like this cast very much." That's what happened with that first cast that was hosted by the Lime Jimmy clone that looked like the annoying orange. Um, and, like, the RCs, although I guess it's good that that one didn't come out since one of the RCs was by someone that's I don't really want associated with anymore. So, maybe that was a blessing in disguise that I didn't do that one. Then there was the other iteration, which was, like, the Halloween themed one, and That one I just ended up going, "Mm, probably shouldn't do that considering it's not Halloween anymore." And also there was, like, 4 characters, which is, like, not a lot. The neighbor is making noise, and I really hope they're I really hope me being recording is not annoying right now. Um, then there was the all PNGs season, which is the most recent intro I put out. So, I really like the oops all JPEGs or whatever I called it. I like the name and, like, the joke a lot. The cast was pretty rushed, though. It was just me taking a PNG and going, "This would be funny." And I don't know, I just feel like it was, like, a little rushed, and so I'm not as big of a fan of that cast anymore as I was when I first made them. So, TNOS has just really been in, like, a state where, like, I have not settled on a cast for the next season that I'm super fond of. So, I can't really say when the next TNOS is gonna be. It's gonna depend on if I just decide to make myself go with that cast or redo the cast for the 4th time. Um, we'll see. We'll see with TNOS. I also just haven't had a good chance to do it yet because, like, I don't know. It's pretty much impossible for me to be left home alone all night because, my dad works from home and, like, there's never something he's really doing that's gonna require him being gone overnight. And, the issue is, like, I feel like recording episodes where I'm like, I have to kinda be a little bit quieter. I feel like that just inherently makes them, like, awkward. I sound like a child recording where they're, like, not wanting their parents to hear, and, like, I don't know. And also, like, I've been in, like we're having finals for our semester in college right now, so I've also just been pretty busy with that because, like, um, not the most responsible person here, but I tend to put off my college work until, like, right before it's due, which is not a good idea. I don't recommend doing what I do, but that's what I do because I'm stupid. But, yeah, so I've also just been slammed with a lot of college stuff, so that makes something like TNOS kinda difficult. Um, but yeah, that's the current state of TNOS. I do miss TNOS a lot, though. I really do wanna do something with it. TNOS is like a special show to me. It's kind of a time capsule of memories with Toxic because me and Toxic made the 1st season together after watching the 15-minute object show. It's very not I wouldn't even say it's subtly inspired by that show. TNOS Red Edition. That's another one where I've been torn between how I wanna continue it. So, I don't know, you saw, like, the last episode where the concept was gonna kinda be like a teen-off season, but it's like a more normal latte show where, like, there's bigger gaps between episodes, but a bit more, like, substance in the episodes. I'm torn between doing it like a normal show or I was really tempted to bring it back as a scripted show because I had, like, this a lot of idea for the story, like, the stuff going on with the villain, with the with the freaky intruder, just the worst name ever. So, like, I had a lot of ideas there, so I was tempted to bring it back as a scripted show, but I also, like, I don't know, like, that villain is also just really dumb. So, maybe I should just reuse that for something else and bring it back. I don't know. It's another one of those shows where I've been very torn about how I should bring it back, I guess, is what I'm saying. Especially in the terms of, like, high quality shows, because like, if it's not obvious, the primary show that's gonna get a lot of focus right now is Battle for Obama Hamburger Reheated, the cool alternate timeline. Because number 1, I just love Obama Hamburger, and it's, like, a fun opportunity to kinda continue it, but, like, do something a little different. It's an alternate timeline, the characters are kinda different in this one, and it's like, I don't know. It's a cool way to bring it back without it just being the same thing. Cause like, as fun as it was doing all those bonus episodes, like, I watched Eternal the Second's reviews on them, and that made me, like, kinda, I don't know, a little bit sad because he kept going, like I would watch it. No hate to Eternal, by the way, Eternal's awesome, Eternal's the GOAT. I mean, I made his profile picture, so I think it's pretty obvious I really like Eternal a lot, but, he did reviews, and he really liked the competition episodes, but he gets to the bonus episodes, and he didn't really like them very much. He was like, "Oh, it kinda feels like nothing is happening, and they just kinda stop and end without purpose," and I'm like, "Damn, he's kinda right. Nothing is really happening in these episodes." So, yeah, I don't know, like, I kinda came to the realization that's not really the best way to continue doing Obama hamburger stuff, but also, like, I cannot make a season 2 cast that I'm very happy with. I don't know, like, I can't decide what's the best idea for season 2. Everybody is okay, it says I have 0 viewers, and I can't tell if this is because the stream cut out or if everybody just left, because last time when I hit 0 viewers, it wasn't because everyone left, it was because the stream cut out, because my Wi-Fi is probably just one of the worst Wi-Fi networks to exist literally ever. But anyways, with Obama Hamburger, like, I can't decide what I want season 2 to be. Like, I love the show a lot, and I love the characters a lot. So I've been debating, like, season 2 being, like, a super high quality thing, but I'm like, maybe it would be better to keep the spirit of the original season and do something really goofy, for, like, the season 2, or, like, go back to improv and just do it myself, but I was like, "I don't know, maybe the vibes would be off without, the original group." Oh, do BFOH elsewhere. Really funny you say that because, there is a little bit there's something I've been working on in secret. I scripted the script a long time ago. I just forgot to send the people that are voice acting their lines for a really long time. One of the voice actors is done. I forgot to send the other 2 voice actors their lines, but something that is basically BFOH elsewhere is being worked on. And yes, unlike Obama Hamburger Reheated, this show that's basically BFOH elsewhere is canon. This is like main universe Obama Hamburger um content. Oh, my other dog is letting herself outside. I guess she hears that. But yes, there is yes, you are a visionary. BFOH it's not called BFOH elsewhere because I was like, I don't really know if I wanna just do the same thing as J&J did. I know a few other people have called their shows something elsewhere, so I'm not dissing on those shows or anything. I was just like, I feel like it'd be more fun to do my own thing. But yes, it's basically BFOH elsewhere, except for uh, I can't. Would this be spoilery to say? I guess not really, because this is just like the really basic idea. But basically, I don't know if you remember the finale of a not the finale, but I think it's episode 9. Textbook comes back and he's like, "Brother, you flung me into a tree. I'm taking you to court." Um, and Glamis is like, "Oh shit, I cannot afford court." So he just dips. Basically, the idea for this show is this is the show Glamis hosts after he dips when Textbook threatens to sue him. So it's just kind of like, "Oh, I'm doing a new thing while I try to like wait for everybody to forget about Obama Hamburger so I can go back to where I was before." So yeah, that's like the basic idea for the show. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit spoilery. I think it's fine. I don't know. That's like just like a really basic concept. Um again, I'm trying to be vague here, but I will say sorry, my dog just just scared me because she walked by me. The cast for the show is side characters from Obama Hamburger too, because I don't know. I These are in fact very specific side characters. I'm not gonna say who. I'll leave a little bit of mystery there, but let's just say the side characters from, uh, some specific episodes or maybe even just episode, that's up to you to take a little guess of who the cast is gonna be. But yes, the cast is pretty much all pre-existing side characters from season 1, aside from 2, which are, like, technically from season 1, but that's, like they're very, like it's kinda stretching the definition of what counts as a returning character. Um, but yeah. There is technically BFOH elsewhere. So, the big reason I'm doing that is because Obama Hamburger Reheated, alternate timeline, but I don't want that to just overwrite the main timeline, so that, like, that kinda means that both versions are getting a little bit of attention, you know? That way people don't forget about the original, even if Reheated is, like, objectively way better. Speaking of Reheated, I actually kinda wanna shoot this concept out there. Since I can't get OBS working, I would love to do this more professionally, but as I said, OBS is not working. I have a friend that's saying she wants to help me get my OBS working, so maybe if that happens, but I was thinking of doing like a creator commentary on BFOH Reheated by basically like playing the episodes on my TV and talking about them. Really unprofessional way of doing that, but like until I can get my screen recording working, I don't really know what else I can do. I don't know if that'd be very fun, but I don't know, I just think, like, it's been so long since those episodes came out, it might be fun to, like, take a look at them in 2026, maybe give some insight and some trivia facts maybe, because there's definitely a lot of things I can say about those episodes and, like, the production of them, because, like, especially BFOH Reheated 1, that was my first ever, like, high effort production, like, ever, to have actually finished. There were a few shows before that had been properly scripted and some voice actors voice acted, but hello, wobbly tobbly. I've just been yapping about shows if you can't tell, so welcome to the stream. But yeah, with BFOHR, like that was my first ever high effort show to have gone past the first episode and like actually finished and like or not actually finished an episode. Sorry, I had a stroke because I was getting busy. I was thinking of the original a little bit. But yeah, that was my first time scripting an episode, getting it voice acted by like multiple people, and having multiple animators and actually finishing the episode. There were a few things before that. I don't remember how much detail I've talked about them. The first one was a show called Topias, which stood for The Prize is a Surprise. This show was a reboot of like one of my first ever object shows on the channel, Battle for Control of the World. That show was going to get a reboot, and it was like I was doing too much. It was like, ooh, there's deep lore. The hosts have a bunch of crazy lore, and like I was not ready for that. Uh, yeah, you can ask questions. Sorry, I'm there's not really like a structured topic set for this video, so I'm just kind of answering topics and yapping whenever there's no new questions. But yeah, so that show had 3 reboots. None of them happened. None of them came out. We rebooted that 3 times, and why did it not come out? Really disappointing answer, but truthfully, voice actors just did not record their lines. One of my animators randomly started ghosting me. Like, it just felt like everything possible went wrong. After that, I was gonna do a wholly new show that was reusing some of the characters from Topias, which was gonna be called, I think, The Absolutely Insane Scuffle to Achieve Billion, I think is the name. And it was kind of just normal competition show, a little bit inspired by OBS, the object show, not the recording software. Didn't see the light of day. Again, most voice actors just didn't do lines, and also the scripts weren't really that great. I might do videos or like a stream or something covering the original scripts. I have them in my sketchbook because scripted things really poorly back then. But yeah, that show just didn't see the light of day because it just wasn't very good and people didn't finish their lines. So I just was like, yeah, let's just call it a day. After that, there was going to be a high effort spin-off of Tinos of all things. It was called the Lime Pizza Project, which is a terrible name, but that's because it was hosted by Lime Jimmy and Kitesa from season 2, the little kite pizza guy, which is a god awful name, but that's what I called him. So yeah, that was the other one. I think voice acting was mostly finished for that, but then I just like again, I was kind of bad at making things in like 2022, and like I just looked at the script and I was like, this script is not very good. Um, and so that never saw the light of day. And then there was going to be a reboot of Legacy Taft, which was high effort, which I do want to do eventually because I have a cool idea for it. I just was really, really bad with procrastination, which is still an issue I have now, unfortunately. That's just how I am. Why was Object Llama? Hold up, I can hear my voice getting worse. So I'm gonna take drink some water. Okay, did one. Why does it say non-canon and pilot now? That is because the day I changed it, I recorded audio for a remake, which I really like. I've just been procrastinating on animating it, but I've had the audio done. The main reason I actually procrastinated is because I wanted to make a new background that had the unbroken version of the New York pickle store. How old was I when I started making my channel, and who inspired me of my YouTube name? Oh, okay, so YouTube in general, there's 2 very different answers for this depending on if you're asking YouTube as a whole or YouTube this specific channel when I started this specific channel. So I would say when I first did YouTube originally, this is on another channel by the way, and this one isn't linked anywhere because it's kind of embarrassing. But my mom, when I was like 6 years old, tried to make a Ryan Toys review styled channel starring me, and it was really embarrassing. And I really don't like those videos, but I've basically been on YouTube since then. However, I moved to this specific channel because I was like, "Ooh, I don't really like posting on a channel with videos I made when I was like a really small child." 12, like 6 months from being 13, I made this current channel. I think my first video was made like a few days before I turned 13, so like a few days before I was supposed to be on YouTube. But yeah, this current channel I made around then. So obviously a huge inspiration for getting into object shows was no surprise BFB. This is a lot of people's inspiration. That's not too surprising. I had gotten into the OSC like 12 days after BFB 12 came out. Horrible timing because of the BFB 12 hiatus where, BFB 13 was a large work in progress for a long time, but that was how I first discovered the OSC, and I actually made my first object characters that exact night. Seven and Bacon were the first object show characters I ever made, and I made them the night I discovered BFB. I had never seen another object show before, but I was immediately making object characters. I don't know what that says about object shows, if they're just like a medium that just naturally encourages people to make things, but yeah. As for my first few videos on this channel, my biggest inspiration at the time was still a huge inspiration for me now, Sakri stuff. I've really liked Sakri for a long time. I started watching her like 3, 4 maybe episodes after Battle for Grandma started, so I've been around for a while. And yeah, huge inspiration in general was Sakri, but especially Battle for Grandma. You can even hear it in the Battle for Control the World intro because I literally just use the Battle for Grandma opening song, and I credited Sakri for that song even though she didn't even make that. She just got it from somewhere else. But yeah, so as for my I think what hold up, I think part of the question was, my YouTube name. Um, so that's a long process. My username has changed a lot of times. So my first username, I'm not gonna say it, but it was somebody else and the short version of my dead name, Studios. Eventually, it got shortened to just my dead name, Studios, and then eventually I was like, I don't really like want that in the channel name. So when trying to think of things, I just thought the word I had another channel that had lightning in the name. I also don't want to share that because it's embarrassing and old. And also I don't even have the login anymore. But because of that lightning thing, I took the name Stormy. So I got rid of my dead name and it was Stormy Studios. Um, there was an issue with this name, however. I liked it, but the issue with Stormy Studios is that I was not the only Stormy Studios. And when you're a small channel, that can be a bit of a problem because search results, it just so happens that you don't really be the top result, especially when you're a smaller channel. Um, and what's weird is even when I was the top subscribed Stormy Studios, I still did not show up as the top result for some reason. It still showed like four other channels before me. So eventually I was like, okay, I'm tired of this. I want like a new username, something that is more reflective of me nowadays. I think I changed my username in like 2021. Um, I wanted something more reflective of like the person I had become after then. And so I was like, I started drafting up a new name. I don't remember a lot of the names I was considering, but I do remember that in the earlier versions of my username, I had really considered going for something with toffee and caramel in it. I don't remember why. I don't even really like caramel, so I don't know why I was going to do that. But yeah, those were like I don't remember the names I was considering, but eventually I thought of having liminal in my name because I was really, really, really into liminal spaces, like a bunch, because I was a freaking nerd, and I still am now. So while trying to come up with names, I was like, okay, well, one thing I liked about Stormy Studios is the alliteration name, the SS, Stormy Studios. Like I was like, alliterations are cool. So I wanted something like that. So when trying to think of something that sounded good, I eventually thought of liminal latte. Because alliteration, and I don't know, I thought latte was like a cute word. I thought that made for a cute username. So I was liminal latte. And for like a little while, my friends were like, why would you change it to that? But nowadays, I'm like, I like that so much more than I like Stormy Studios. Stormy Studios was just not a great username. It was really generic and boring. And I think Liminal Latte, even if it's not a perfect name, is better in that regard. So yeah, that's how I came up with my current username. And I'll let you in on a little secret. I have been considering changing it a second time. Whoa, crazy. That's just because I made it in 2021. It's not super reflective of me as a person now, but it's like I just worry that like I don't know. My name has been on so many things now, it's on Shape World Caffeinated, which is big video popular wise. It's on, Obama Hamburger, and it's like, I just feel like it's probably a little too late to change it. But then again, if Greeny could change to Jam Jacket, maybe it's not too late. Maybe I'm overthinking it because I'm a nerd. I drank all my water. So I've been talking so much that I'm just like drinking this water like crazy because I keep like my throat keeps getting dry. Ugh. But now I'm out of water. I don't know. Sorry, I keep yapping. Okay. You have so much thought behind this. Yeah, I know. It's like I'm a nerd. I can't just like not think about these things so much. Like it's like I gotta overthink everything because what if I do something stupid and then like I immediately regret it? Still think Jam Jacket seems unnatural. I don't know. I'm pretty torn. Like Greeny Guy, like that's an iconic name. It's like it's hard to get used to it being different. He's one of the biggest faces in the object, show community. And Greeny Guy has always just been iconic. I do think Jam Jacket sounds pretty cool though. I don't know. It's not as iconic as Greeny Guy, and I still think I like Greeny Guy as a name a little bit more. But I don't know. I think Jam Jacket is a pretty cool name, and I like it better than the other name, Gag of Green. I never really liked Gag of Green as a name very much, and so I definitely prefer Jam Jacket. Uh, so I don't know. I don't blame him for renaming. As I said, I right now have been considering renaming for a while, so I'm never gonna diss on another creator for wanting to rebrand a little bit if they weren't happy with their previous branding. That's just me though. Um, Honestly, I'm having a lot of fun streaming, so I might I don't know, I'm considering going inside and getting some water, but I don't want to end the stream, but I also don't want to like leave you guys outside for a few minutes with like nothing to watch. Um, you think it's on that? Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a little out of the blue because he never expressed like wanting a name change. Like, I don't know. When it comes to, like, name changes, like, uh, somebody who I think handled it pretty decently well was Slinky. I think, like, the announcement videos were really funny and how there was, like, that joke with, um, "Ooh, it was Silky Box," and then it's, like, Sickly Box, and then it was eventually Slinky Box. I thought that was kinda funny. And, that was, like at least with, like, Grainy, like, it was super abrupt. At least with that one, it was, like, kind of like an ease into the new name, and also the new name was pretty close to the old name. So, like, I do think you should probably, at the very least, do some kind of video to, like, acknowledge the fact the name is changing, but that's just me. I don't know. I'm not the boss. IDK who Slinky is? Slinky Box, the creator of Object Cringe. I don't know. I just think of her because she's, like, one of the people I think of when it comes to changing your username on in the object show sphere. There's Greeny and then there's Slinky. I gave this suggestion to another friend, but I was thinking of using, like, Helvetica or something because it sounds cool. I actually do think Helvetica does sound cool. Also, hi, Random. Welcome to the live stream. I think you joined a little bit ago, but I was in the middle of yapping about something else, so I didn't acknowledge your other comment. Oopsies. You've low yeah, I would definitely say I understand why you would wanna change it if your old channel shows up, and that was kind of another part of the reason why I changed Stormy Studios is I have another old channel, which the name is like wow, it's like a complete black screen for you guys right now, isn't it? I'm sorry, this is like a really bad video. Here, this is like slightly more interesting to look at, I think. Just leave it at hell because that's where your content belongs. Wow, we're having really epic battles going on in my comment section, but, uh yeah, I don't blame you because my old channel was 1 word off from my current channel or from Stormy Studios, not the current name, and I think it would show up sometimes, and I was like, "Oh, oh." Uh, I have access to that old channel, but I also share it with my sister and, like, another family member, and, like, I don't know, I don't wanna bug them by taking down some stuff, so, like, I don't touch that channel very much, but I also don't really want people finding that channel because it's a little embarrassing. But, yeah, especially if you don't have the login to that channel, I can definitely understand why you wouldn't exactly want people finding that. Um, yeah, that's a little awkward, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen the old channel, so if nothing else random, hopefully that gives you a little bit more confidence, but I also would not blame you if you did end up changing your name, and Helvetica or some variation of Helvetica could be cool. Um, it also makes me think of the clip from whatchamacallit, my brain is not working right now, but the Helvetica standard thing. Yeah, because Anichijo, or I don't that's probably not how you pronounce it, I probably butchered that really bad. But that could be a cool name for sure, I think. I don't know, like, it's hard to come up with a name and, like because, like, you're gonna be like, "Oh, but what if I like this now, but then in, like, 2 months, I'm like, 'Dang, this name sucks.'" And that's what I've been going through a little bit. Because I don't know if you guys saw that one channel that I cross-posted the Woes short to, the low cortisol dance short, the Fortha channel. Um, Fortha has been one of the names I was considering, but, like, I'm not 100% sure on that name. I don't know. My goal with, like, the new username, if I do change my username, would be, like, I kinda want something like a name like Zachary, like, where it's, like, one of those, like, short, snappy, like, made up word sounding names. I don't know. I was trying to think of something that, like, sounds like latte or still kinda has latte in it, but, like, I don't know, it's hard. I had, like, a lot I came up with, like, a whole list of names, but I don't know, none of them really suck. Fortha has been my favorite so far, but even then, like, it's not perfect, and, like, I feel like I don't like it as much as I did when I first thought of it. Man, my voice is really giving up. I really should grab another water, but I think there's something playing on my TV and I forgot to turn it off. And I don't want to bombard you guys with some random audio that's blasting on my TV if I go and grab another water. But also, like, I don't want my voice to procedurally get worse as I keep streaming. But yeah, with usernames, it's like it's hard because like that a username is like well, this isn't a very crazy take to say, but a username is like a very defining part of your identity on YouTube, and so it's something that's really hard to think of sometime. Um, because like if that's gonna be like your identity, you want something that's like that reflects you well. I don't know. I've always been jealous of people that like made a name at a really young age and just had never wanted to change it. There's a lizard, I think. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's I think what's a lizard is running around over there and it's cute, but it's not really picking up on camera. Uh Thinking of changing my side channel to Helvetica. Yeah, that's definitely a way you could do it. Like a soft launch of the name, start to kind of adjust to people using it. I think Greeny had actually done that. Um I think Greeny had changed his name on his Discord server to Jam Jacket for, like, a month. I coulda sworn it was Jam Jacket, and then eventually he just was like, "Yeah, it's actually Jam Jacket now." The issue is, like, because he only did it on Discord, I don't think people that were outside of the Discord sphere had any chance to really get adjusted to the username at all. So it was kind of like I was kind of abrupt for anybody that follows him on stuff that isn't Discord. And even for me who was on the Discord server, it was still a little jarring to see it suddenly change. And also just because as a lot of people have been saying, like it's like Greeny Guy feels like it has a lot more flow than Jam Jacket does in a sense. I don't think it's that deep, like, as long as he's happy, I think that's all that really matters, but it's definitely still, like, an adjustment process. It's like, I don't know. It's complicated. As I said, your username is a big part of your identity. It's gonna change how people perceive you, and if people have been really used to perceiving you with a specific name for a really long time, which, Greeny's a really iconic figure, and he's been around for quite a while, and he's made a lot of very influential shows. That sudden change to something that's, like, entirely different is definitely gonna be jarring, and that's something I acknowledge with, like, the 4th name, which is exactly which is exactly why I was saying I was kinda trying to maybe think of something that's, like, closer to latte, or I don't know. I was also thinking of putting my name somewhere in it. It's like, one thing that's kinda fun with my name right now is both of my primary usernames because I have, like, a non-OSC account that I use a lot for, like, other things, and both my OSC username and my non-OSC username technically contain my name in them, which I thought was kinda cool, and that's kind of lost with the 4th name for sure. And also just, as I said, just drastically different name, it's a big adjustment for people. Suddenly going from long, liminal latte to just Fortha, it would be a big change. So I've been kind of like drafting, like still trying to see if I could think of something that's a bit more. What is my name? Oh yeah, I guess I don't really say my name on here very much. It's not like a secret or anything. It's just kind of I don't say it on YouTube very much because I don't really feel like people need to know my name per se. My name is Amina, Imina, like liminal without the L's. That is the name. That is legitimately how I thought of it. It came from my username, which I don't know. It's like my username very much definitely became a big part of my identity, and so I felt like I don't know, I just felt like it worked so well as being my name. It was originally created when I was trying to think of a username, but then I just got too attached to it, and so I kinda just started using it as my actual name. Um, I don't know, that's just how I am. I g I grew very attached to the identity in a sense, and so I was like, "No need to fix what ain't broken," in that sense, and so I just kinda kept using it. So, yeah, it's in both of my usernames, like, liminal latte, it's obviously in that name because it's liminal without the L's, so it's in that name, and it's also in my other name, which is Immune Aesthetic, which is what I use for, like, non-object show stuff, I guess. I don't know, I haven't really posted to the channel yet, but I have, like, a Twitter that I post on a lot. Um, but yeah, it's in both of my usernames, and I will say I am very sad that the 4th name doesn't really have that, but, like, you know, where would I really fit that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna force that to be a thing if it's gonna get in the way of having, like, a good name. You know what I mean? I'd rather have a good name than maintain that kinda thing, especially when that was kind of more of a coincidence than anything else. Um, I don't know. This live stream is, like, the least organized thing I've ever done, but I'm having a lot of fun just kinda yapping and getting, like I don't know, I've always wanted to kinda talk to you guys a little bit more, like, have a chance to, like, answer questions because, like, I know I'm not super good at communicating sometimes, like, certain videos that I'm planning on remaking or whatever will just they'll get a title change, they'll get, who knows what else, and then I just don't really go into much detail about it, and so, like, I understand that that's kinda confusing sometimes, and so I've been really, like, looking for more ways to, like, talk to you guys and, like, better answer questions, and also just I think live streaming is fun, and it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. Really, the main reason I've waited so long is because 'cause I've been incredibly worried I was accidentally gonna dox myself somehow because I'm kind of stupid. In case you guys didn't know, I'm kind of a little bit of an idiot, and so I wouldn't be surprised if I accidentally dox myself. What's going on with BFLS? Oh, I'm gonna be honest, it was an instance of I burned myself out on it really, really, really bad. Is this my first ever live stream? Yes and no. It's a bit complicated. So on my, like, really old channel when I was 12, I did a few, like, live streams, or even, like, I think I was younger than 12 on that channel. But, I did a few live streams, not a single person ever watched them, they were really broken, and I don't think I really talked much. I've done, like, 2, 3, 4 test streams on this channel before. None of them were really supposed to be proper live streams, they were just kinda me like, "Does this even work?" And a lot of the time, the answer was no. Like, yesterday, I did do a stream for literally 2 minutes. Oh, I think my dad just got home. You can tell by the dogs, but, yeah, I've done live streaming before, but, um yeah, it was mostly testing. This is my first time streaming, like, for a proper stream length and, like, talking, and it wasn't just for the sake of a test, but I tried streaming last night, and I went for 2 minutes before the stream, literally crashed and just stopped working, and I don't know why that happened, because it hasn't happened since then, but, um, yeah, it just stopped working after literally 2 minutes right when I said I was gonna draw something, so that's a little sad. But it is what it is. This stream has been working, which is nice. Oh yeah, so as for the BFLS comment, I'm probably gonna have to end the stream a little bit soon because like my dad got home and he's probably gonna be wondering why I'm talking to my phone outside. So, but yeah, when it comes to BFLS, you probably if you were around when it was coming out, maybe you weren't around back then. I don't really know, but I was posting episodes like crazy. They were coming out like 2 to 3 episodes, like, a week. I was, like, really pumping that show out, and that's because I was having a lot of fun with it. It was very much like the show is pure slop, where I got really, really, really into it, and so I was posting things like crazy, and, like, I kept wanting the show to go longer and longer and longer. So, I did the rejoin, and I did the debut, and I kept going, and hold on, someone just came outside, so I need to explain what I'm doing. So I kept going, and like, I was like, we're doing a debut, we're doing a rejoin, here's episodes dedicated to the failed debuters, and I just got so burnt out that I just like did not feel like doing the show anymore. And so it's been on hiatus. It's never been canceled per se. I've just haven't had the motivation to continue doing the show, so that's what's been happening. It's been on pause for a while. It'll come back at some point because it's literally like on the finale, I'm pretty sure, like 1 or 2 episodes off from the finale. So that's what's happening with that show. It will finish. I actually remember me and Curb had talked about doing something. I don't think this is gonna happen anymore, sadly. I think like I think we put it off for so long that we like kind of scrapped it. But the plan was Hello Helvetica, a person I've never seen before, totally. Um, the thing we were gonna do is I think we were gonna make finales for each other's shows. I think I was gonna do the finale for Battle for Fire, and Curb was gonna do the finale for Battle for Lincoln Soda, and then we just never did that. And I don't know. I guess I could ask Curb if she still wants to do that. Maybe we could see if that will work out. But I wouldn't be surprised if she just doesn't want to, because I don't know, Battle for Fire, I think, was one of her more popular shows, and so I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't really wanna do that anymore. Definitely our fault for not, uh, communicating better, but yeah, she was gonna do the finale for Lincoln Soda because if I recall correctly, she said that was, like, her favorite show on my channel, which I don't blame her because I think a lot of the characters in that show are really charming. Um, Battle for Fire is canceled. Did she officially cancel it? I don't know. Sorry, I haven't kept up with, like, a lot of stuff. She hasn't been posting as much lately, just like not as motivated, which I can't blame her because I have not been the most productive either. If that month of like, or I don't remember if it was a month, but it was pretty close to a month if it wasn't a month of like, I posted nothing. I posted that one energy drinks video and then was like dead silent for like a month. I just like did not feel like working on anything. I was so bored. I just like, I was like, everything I'm making is feeling the same. I don't wanna make things right now, and so I kinda took a month off, and recently I've been like, "Okay, you've been gone for a really long time. It's time to start making things again." Like, it's time to start getting on, like, at bare minimum, trying to post once a week is the goal. Um, the BFOHR is back video actually was supposed to come out, like, forever ago, and I just put off animating it, and then on the day I was gonna animate it, I ended up having to do something else, which hopefully you guys are gonna see soonish. I can't give too many details because it's a private thing, but I collaborated with another creator on something. It's a joke thing, and so I assume it'll probably be out soonish because we made it in, like, 2 hours, but yeah, um, the day I was going to animate it, I ended up not being able to. It was a bummer, but the other thing we made is really funny, and I can't wait for you guys to see that because I think you guys are gonna like it, even if it's really even if it's really dumb. Um, but yeah, and then after that, I was like, "Oh, I'm procrastinating again." So I put it off again for a while, and then after I finished doing that, I was like, "Okay, it's time to, like, properly lock in and, like, do it. Hi, random. Yeah, your evil twin has been here for a little while. They've been causing a ruckus. They've been stealing Dream Island. It was really not good. You gotta get that guy under control." But, yeah, I finally was like, "Okay, I'm gonna lock in, I'm gonna animate this," and then when I finally stopped being lazy, I animated the whole thing in, like, a couple of hours. So it really should not have taken, like, a week to do, but I suck. And then as for BFOHR, um, progress would be moving a lot faster, but the original voice actor, like, Sewer Drain's original voice actor quit, like, a year ago, just said he was embarrassed about recording lines in front of his siblings. He said it just was a little embarrassing, like, they would poke fun at him sometimes, and I was like, "That's fair enough." I had a replacement, which was a friend from my college, but now he's like, "Um, no, I'm just not gonna do them." After, like, a week of saying he was gonna do them, which sucks, but, it is what it is. And then I have another friend who thinks she might wanna voice him, but she's not entirely sure. So right now, I'm just waiting for her to decide if she wants to do it or not, and if she's still unsure in, like, maybe a day or 2, I think Random is just gonna voice Sewer Drain. Random already voices Green's Belt, and he does a good job, and she gets lines out pretty fast, so, they're a pretty good voice actor if the other one doesn't work out. What software do I use? Depends on what part of the process you're talking about. So for audio, I do something really unprofessional and really stupid. I edit my audio and record my audio using GarageBand on my phone. I wouldn't say I recommend it because it's not really what GarageBand is made for, but like I already knew how to use GarageBand and um I was too lazy to learn a proper audio editing software, so I just started using GarageBand for audio. And then when it comes to assets and backgrounds, I use Ibis Paint because uh, making assets in ToonSquid is complicated, and I've been too lazy to learn how to do it. And I've been using Ibis Paint for years, so that's just way easier for me to use than figuring out some new fancy software I don't know what I'm doing with, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, unsurprisingly, a little bit of a spoiler in there. The thing I do my animation on is ToonSquid. It is an app for iPads. I don't think they have it on Android, sadly. Maybe there's a way to like pirate it, but yeah, it's an iPad app. It's a single time purchase, and I would honestly say that according to a lot of people, it might even be better in some areas than Adobe Animate. I wouldn't say it's objectively better. I think both programs probably have areas where one is better than the other, but I can definitely say in pricing, ToonSquid absolutely destroys Adobe Animate because there is no way to do a single time purchase of Adobe Animate, whereas ToonSquid, it's like $10, you have ToonSquid forever, and it's great. Flip a Clip, even Flip a Clip is worse now because Flip a Clip I think you can only get through a subscription model now, and I don't know why they would do that because Flip a Clip is not very good at all. Flip a Clip is terrible. I low key should get Toon Squid. If you're as long as you're able to get it, I would definitely recommend it. I don't know what you use now. If you're using Flipperclip, I would say like it'll take a little bit to get used to. You know, it's a lot more complicated, obviously, because it can do a lot more things. But like once you get it figured out, oh, it is just so much better. Having a proper camera that actually like works and like being able to use tweens and stuff and symbols and, like, all that is, like it is, like it completely revolutionizes, like, animation for me. It is, like I have never wanted to go back to Flip-a-Clip. Like, using like, occasionally I'll use Flip-a-Clip if I'm, like, making a video on my phone, and then I'll go like, "Oh my god. This is so bad." Like, I'll go back to Flip-a-Clip and be like, "How did I use this for years?" And I don't feel bad about dissing on Flip-a-Clip with their new pricing model, because their new pricing model is horrible. Why would they make it only accessible through a subscription? Flip-a-Clip is not worth a subscription. Like, it's just not. So yeah, if you have the ability to get Toon Squid, highly recommend it. It is a game changer, and also Flip a Clip is just bad. Like I hate to, and for example, I want to be clear. This is not me dissing on people that use Flip a Clip. Curb uses Flip a Clip. I know there's a free version, but I don't know. I don't think the free version is worth it with like the limitations of like layers and like all that. But I'd say with Flip a Clip, it's not that you can't make good things on Flip a Clip. I mean, the fact that Curb makes all of her assets on Flip-a-Clip and her backgrounds on Flip-a-Clip is insane to me. Her assets are incredible. Like I don't mean to like sound like I'm glazing just because she's my friend. Like I'm being genuinely honest when I say this. I think Curb's assets are like some of my favorite assets in the entire OSC. Like I adore Curb's assets, and the fact she has the patience to do those um, on Flip-a-Clip blows my mind. I cannot fathom making assets like that on Flip-a-Clip. Her animation is also really good, but, like, again, I just can't get over because like, I've tried making assets on Flip-a-Clip. It is painful. I hate it. Making assets on Flip-a-Clip is horrible. So the fact she has the patience to, like, learn how to use it well enough to make the assets she does is it just blows my mind. Like, again, sorry, not to not to glaze too much. I just find her assets to be crazy, for Flip a Clip especially. Um, but yeah, I sincerely do not recommend Flip a Clip. Super Earth Society, yeah, um, sorry, I mean, not to diss on Super Earth at all. Um, I don't really like Super Earth's assets. Most of Super Earth's good assets tend to not be made by him, they tend to be made by Stryker, I think. Like, the new assets for, Cube's Stupid Show and Pyramid's Intellectual Show, like, those were Stryker, I think. And Stryker uses Adobe, I'm pretty sure. But, like, Soup's assets that Soup makes himself, I was never a big fan of, but then again, I've just never been a big fan of Soup stuff, not dissing on him at all, like, he's popular, he has an audience, his stuff's fine. It's just, like, so I've never been super into Super Earth Society stuff. I never really liked Object Unicode very much. I don't know. Just never really been my my type of shows, I guess. I don't know. Something about them just wasn't really for me, I guess, is the way I'll describe it. Again, no hate if you like Soup or if, if Soup somehow sees this, which will never happen. I agree, Object Unicode is mid. Yeah, I mean, like, it just like, I hate to see Object Unicode is just not great. It's an animatic battle clone, and, like, the cast isn't particularly memorable. One of the characters just kinda feels like her only purpose is getting fat shamed in half of the episodes by 12 Junior or whatever. And then there's that scene in the unfinished episode where they bash the little diamond into a brick wall and she cries, and it's just uncomfortable to watch. Like, I don't know. Object Unicode, just never my cup of tea as a show. That's not there's people that like it. I remember there were, like, a few people that were really dedicated fans of the show, and Crust Cleaners, who was yeah, Crust Cleaners was very much like the, "Guys, you should like this character. they're the character that you should sympathize with because they're constantly getting, mistreated. Oh, another new viewer. Hello. But yeah, Object Unicode, like the gone very off topic from my things. Object Unicode, never my kind of show. Uh, it feels like one of those shows where like they have a specific set of characters you're supposed to hate and a specific set of characters you're supposed to feel bad for. And I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of like the entire cast being rigged in that sense. Um, yeah, like a lot of the characters were just like it felt like there was 3 groups. There was the, like, filler characters that were, like, they were given enough personality traits that they did things, but they were clearly supposed to be mid-show boots. The characters you were supposed to hate because they were always being, like, horrible to everybody else. And then the characters that you were supposed to feel bad for because they were, like, really nice and they were always just getting bullied constantly. And so you're supposed to go, "No, no, my wholesome, no, Uwu Chungus, no. Why are they being mean? Ah." And, like, I don't know, just not really my style of writing. And also just the fact that Soup Earth Society was, like, randomly dogging on somebody's wish on a star scene on Twitter for 0 reason and called it carry slop. I don't know. I just never was able to get into his stuff. He was a little I don't know. There's just something about him that, like, I just wasn't able to get into his content. Again, if anybody likes his stuff, that's fine, personal opinion, you guys can like whatever you want. I'm not your mom, but never was able to get into his stuff. Um, I like okay, one thing I will say about Object Unicode, not to keep talking about a show that is not my own or my friends, but, um I yeah, I will say Google, like, randomly stopping in the middle of the challenge to order a pizza is, like, a really interesting writing decision. One thing I did like about Object Unicode was I really liked the intro. However, that was kind of ruined for me in, like, I think it was the 3rd episode. It was randomly updated, and it had, like, a spinning background that made me really dizzy, and, like, I just did not like that. Um, he tried to run a show with a bunch of animators as a 16. Yeah, I will say, um my show I made at 16, Obama Hamburger Reheated is not exactly a fantastic show either. Running a show, especially at such a young age, it's a lot, especially if you're not very experienced. Um, it's a little hard. I think he made a lot of mistakes. I think he was overly harsh on some of his animators from what I've heard, and like the animator guidebook is a little strict, but I don't I don't I'm not too hard on him, like, I understand that that's a lot to do at a young age, as I said. The Battle for Obama Hamburger Reheated episode 1, I made that at, I think, around the same age, I don't remember exactly how old I was, but that episode is, like it's rough. I think it's okay. I think I could do so much better now, but, like, it's like, when you're younger and it's your first time directing a team and having other animators, it's a little complicated. Like one thing I've always struggled with, especially, is I hate asking people to fix things. I feel like I'm being annoying and overbearing and like too hard on people. Um, and so I feel like that's one of the hardest things for me is I hate asking people to make corrections. It does happen sometimes. Like in okay, one thing I'll tell you guys, Study his BFOHR 1 scene, right? Um, in his original version of his scene, he just he forgot to give Green's belt arms. And that was like one of the few times where I was like, I can't leave it like that. I have to tell him to fix it. And I hate telling people to have to change things and like re-export the scene. But yeah, I was like, he has arms, I'm sorry. And so I had to have him fix it. But in the final cut, yay, he has arms and but it was fixed and it was really easy. Like one or two other instances where I've had to correct people, but like I feel like it's usually pretty minor things. I remember one okay, there's actually an animation mistake from Curb and BFOHR 2, but the episode was like the last few scenes were done in a rush, and I was like, "Oh, I don't wanna tell her to have to fix it," but, um, in her scene, the one right before the intro in BFOHR2, um, Sewer Drain goes, are we allowed to show that on TV?" But if you listen to his voice, that's not Sewer Drain. That's there's a bunch of noise going on, and that's a little uncomfortable. But if you listen to the voice of who's speaking, that's not Sewer Drain. That was supposed to be Mr. Green's belt. And I was like, "Oh, I don't wanna tell her to fix it. I'm gonna feel bad." But yeah, she was supposed to animate it as, Mr. Green's belt saying that line. That's what it said in the script. I think she was animating it without looking at the script very much, and so she accidentally hit Sewer Drain, and I just didn't have it in me to tell her to fix it because I was like, "It's gonna take a while. I don't wanna be annoying," so I just left it in the final cut. So that's a funny mistake you guys can see. If you ever rewatch the episode, you guys can go, "Huh, that's not supposed to be Sewer Drain." I don't know. I like I considered, like, asking Toxic to just or not Toxic, I considered asking Lobster to just record Sewer Drain saying that and just replace the audio, but I didn't wanna be annoying, so I just left it. Probably not, but, you live and you learn. So, hopefully, future episodes will be significantly less messy. BFOHR 6, though, in 2 episodes of BF 599, I forgot to put click in. I don't blame you. In the first episode of Battle for Convenience Store Soap, the first episode, I completely forgot to give Frozen Fungus a single line. I covered for it by having him be like, I'm finally back in episode 2, but I completely forgot to make them do anything until I got to the voting screen in animation and was like, "Oh no, I forgot to I forgot to have them do anything." So, yeah, I have forgotten to have characters do things on many, many, many occasions. I am not the most professional showrunner sometimes. It is what it is. Like, we all make mistakes, especially in, like, more improvised heavy shows, like but yeah, hopefully with BFOHR, since it's scripted, we will hopefully avoid issues like that in the future, I guess we'll have to see. One thing with BFOHR I'm not entirely sure of is in BFOHR, the original episodes, um, in the original episodes of BFOHR, uh, I had 2 people that always animated every single episode, that being Curb and Studiery. Studiery, there was the incident that happened recently, Studiery has since then apologized, and, I talk to him sometimes now, so, like, we're decently on good terms again, but I don't know if he'll be animating or not,